we can start talking about Braun Breaker. But let's talk about the Royal Rumble because the 3 count question of the week is grading the 2025 Royal Rumble Premium Live Event or pay-per-view, whatever you like to call them. Let's Tim, you were saying Braun Breaker had a great Rumble.
Yeah, man, like he had the most memorable moments. The stare down with Jacob Fatu, the nasty spear on Roman, that spear on Speed, like it just Braun was ready. And what people haven't talked about, so the interaction with him and Roman, where Braun gets eliminated, is a direct callback to his Royal Rumble with Batista.
Okay.
When during that Rumble in Philly, I think it was it the Philly Rumble? No, it was the Rumble before that, where Roman is in complete control. He picks up Batista and goes to throw him out, and as he goes to throw him, Batista does the switch and throws Roman out. Yes. The same shit, except Roman did it to Braun.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge spot. Like that's a huge. I don't think there's any doubt that the WWE sees big things for Braun Breaker's future.
From the Rumble this past week, if I were a betting man and I could put money down on the winner of the 2026 Royal Rumble, I would play the futures on Braun Breaker right now.
I will bet.
Yes, sir. Wow. Especially because they took the chance on Jay this year. If Jay won it this year with all of those other stars in it, then maybe WWE is looking to make new upper crust main eventers.
I mean, it's something the company needs. It really is something the company needs, because when you look at especially the WWE championship picture with Cody, like the reason they've done a lot of repeater matches is because the main event talent just isn't really there right now. When it's spread out over 2 world titles on 2 shows, there's not a lot of, and not that we think Cody Rhodes going to lose on a Backlash pay-per-view, but like there's not a lot of heaters there. Like there's not anybody that's really even going to go, yeah, they could do it.
I mean, look back a few years, that's the same story when Roman was carrying the strap there for a while, and like him and Cesaro had a banger on SmackDown, and then him and Logan Paul had a really good match. And it's like, these are great one-offs, but we're not telling stories here. We're not, they're tapped out at the top of the card. We need some more upper middle crust talents. That's for sure. No, I think you can look at the time spent in the Rumble. I think Braun Breaker was just about 22, 23 minutes, probably third, fourth longest of the night. Jacob Fatu, another one that spent about 25-ish minutes. I think maybe 2 people above them spent longer in the Rumble, but that's it. Like, these are the guys that you're going to see the futures, I think, are bright for. I don't know if I'd put him winning the Rumble, but I think it's going to determine what we see with Jey Uso this year. If Uso is given the ball and can run with that, and they draw and they make money on Jey Uso, fuck it, why not?
So Braun Breaker spent the 8th longest amount of time.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he had 22:26. The longest was Penta at 42:05. Then Roman at 37:15, Jey Uso 36:59, John Cena 30:31, Drew McIntyre 26:55, Rey Mysterio 24:41, Jacob Fatu 24:16, and then Braun Breaker.
Okay, he did have big moments though, that's for sure.
He did. Roman and Jacob had the most eliminations with 4 each, by the way.
So I'm looking at the WWE website.
Okay.
For Raw. Including Gunther, I see 9 main eventers.
On Raw.
And I'm happy to run them down.
I'd love for you to run them down, Devin, even more.
Sure. I'm counting Drew.
Yep.
Finn,
Yeet.
Gunther,
Yeet.
Jay,
Yeet.
CM Punk,
Yeet.
Logan Paul.
Yeet. Yeet.
I'm counting Rey Mysterio.
Oh,
Yeet.
oh.
I'd
Then
probably
that's
draw.
Then that's 8. Okay, we're
Yeah.
down to 8. Sami Zayn.
Yeet.
I don't consider him that.
I don't
main
think I
eventer
consider
either.
him a main eventer.
I think he's that upper middle class competitor. I
then
don't
we're
think
down to
he's quite
7.
there, unfortunately.
Seth Rollins.
I would also put Logan
Rollins.
Paul in that upper middle class until I see different. The kid can go. Nobody likes him. He's a great.
I think
fucking
Logan.
heel.
Yeah, I
can
kind of
play
agree
off
with
of
Ryan.
that.
I think Logan Paul would have to be more active for me to put him in the main event. I know he had that match with Roman, and a match with Cody, but
the reason why I counted Sammy, Ray, and Logan is all 3 of them are in the qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber. So if you are counted as being good enough to possibly be the number 1 contender for the world title, that makes me think.
all right, okay, I see your
you're
logic
there.
I
Who
will
else
say this
on that. Who would you put then, in your opinion, is that middle to upper middle crust talent
On Raw right now,
on Raw specifically?
Bronson Reed,
Braun Breaker, Braun Strowman,
Braun Breaker.
Okay.
I would count.
And Big Bronson Reed is still hurt, correct? He's still
Yes.
limp. Okay.
he's still nursing them
Penta?
broken ankles.
Penta's in that upper crust.
Okay.
Sheamus is in that upper crust.
I'd agree.
I think
if you're
Sheamus
not
today
and-
is in that. Yeah, I would have considered
and-
Sheamus probably a little higher 2 years
Yeah.
ago. Okay.
and then if you're not counting Sammy and Ray and Logan, them,
They slide into that.
and then Ludwig Kaiser's on that crust, right? Like he's right on that.
Like lower middle, but he's building.
He's first man out.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now
Give him the rub.
SmackDown-
He's the first out. I agree.
SmackDown needs an intervention.
Yeah. So before we I think the thing with Logan Paul, and especially with him probably getting into the Elimination Chamber, he's going to be in there for the heat value and for the fact that he can do acrobatic shit, and people are going to like to see him get thrown around on a steel cage. Like I don't think
Yeah.
he's
Gonna
actually
be-
like I don't think he's
gonna be
actually
the one
like
that
a
eliminates
legit-
John Cena early in the match, setting up a John Cena match with him at WrestleMania.
Ooh, perhaps. We
There's
probably
too
won't.
many angles for
Spoiler alert, we
Cena.
probably won't
There's
get
a
to
ton of angles.
Yeah,
for
like
John
we
Cena.
were going to predict the Mania card. We probably won't get time to do that this week. We'll probably bump that to next week just in the interest
We'll
of
do
time.
that Tuesday for Devin. Wink, wink. No wink.
But yeah, SmackDown, Tim.
SmackDown, there is Uncle Allen,
Mm-hmm.
so AJ Styles now,
Now these are
Because-
main eventers. We're talking.
main event.
Okay.
AJ,
Yeet,
Cody,
yeet,
Damian Priest,
yeet,
Kevin Owens,
Yeet.
yeet,
Randy Orton,
yeet,
Yeet.
Roman Reigns,
Yeet.
and in a pinch, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah. yeah, yeah. Yeet.
Okay.
And then that upper crust, that next level up, next level down, and he's only there for a short period of time. But I would count Jacob Fatu on that level,
Yeet.
For sure.
LA Knight on that level,
Yeah.
Tamatanga,
No.
Shinsuke.
Yes.
You wouldn't count Tamatanga?
No, he's pretty much been a tag team guy and a lackey since he's been there. Does he even have
He's- Does he even have a what?
Does he even have a singles match yet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Who was the other one?
So
That's
Nakamura.
really it on SmackDown.
Oh wow. Okay.
Maybe Braun Strowman, because even though Strowman's on Raw, he's been moved to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Has he been
Even
moved to SmackDown? Oh,
he
okay.
hasn't. Oh, he hasn't officially, but He just feuded with Jacob Fatu, and Jacob's on SmackDown.
Yeah,
Miz is on SmackDown now. I'd probably put him in that.
Yeah,
that
because he's
middle.
always a threat. He's always lurking, always seeking, and also like the Wyatts are now on SmackDown,
Correct.
but they are.
I don't think you
they-
can get lower on the card than the Wyatt Six.
They
right
haven't.
now,
They haven't
unfortunately.
officially even made an appearance on SmackDown yet.
No, They just-
Now I don't. I'm curious to see, especially with the news that Alexa's going to be on SmackDown, if she's going to do anything with them at all. Because like she did have, she did kind of have like the spooky Alexa look. She had the Fiend Forever jacket. So they're not shying away from that portion of her character. I don't know that she should be full-time Wyatt Sixes, but
I'd like to think that the appearance at the Rumble was her nod to their history, and then they move on from that. I don't really want to see her with the Wyatt Six.
okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see
If
how
you have
they're
a character already portraying Sister Abigail, I don't know what she would do with the Wyatt Six. So
Yeah,
I think the jacket said Fiend, but there was an R like Friend Forever as well, and like
yeah.
I think
yeah,
that would
it's
like
friends forever.
I
Yeah.
think
The-
that's it,
the R
and
in
that's
that
how I
is-
would end the story with Bray
that
Wyatt
portion of
and
it.
Alexa Bliss
Okay.
and let her come back.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how
as
they use
whatever you want, but just not. I mean, not. I wouldn't go back to like NXT.
her.
cheerleader of
Kevin's
Alexa
right. AJ's on SmackDown now. That was a last-minute portal move
Bliss. You
announced
said
by
Raw.
Raw General Manager Adam Pearce on Monday.
See, this is why we need to
He's
watch
not
more
on Raw?
wrestling. Like
Yes, he
AJ
is.
is on Raw now.
Adam
got
Pearce
shuffled.
announced it during Raw on Monday. It was
I thought
it was a last. He had been on SmackDown. It was a last-minute portal move.
okay. Then he
Can't
comes
forget
to Raw.
about the portal.
Yeah,
portal.
the transfer window.
Transfer. Oh, that's right. It's not the portal. It's a window.
So I'm gonna be the lone man on the rail here. I want Alexa to be the Fiend.
To be the Fiend.
Yes.
I'm
Huh.
okay with that.
Just how there was Bray Wyatt and there was the Fiend.
Huh.
Having her interact with the Wyatt Six and Uncle Howdy being like the vessel that carries with the Wyatt Six, the spirit of the Fiend get transferred into the willing vessel of Alexa Bliss. It is spooky. It's crazy. None of the Wyatt stuff makes sense. But if there's anyone that you could put the Fiend behind,
It would
it's
be her.
Alexa. Yes.
So we see, just like we saw Bray Wyatt, we see the Alexa Bliss character, and she comes masked as the Fiend.
You do a lady Fiend. Yes.
So the lady, there is a split personality,
Yes.
like we saw with
Yeah,
Bray.
yeah.
as well. Same thing.
Yes. Yes.
God damn it! I don't hate that at all.
No, me
See?
neither. Now that you
And
said
I
that,
want to hate it so bad. I want to fucking just
the-
hate it. I was so close to saying Shane, you know what? Right in the middle of that, because I was like,
Right.
there's no way. And then
like-
it just was like, that is stupid enough.
Yeah.
And I suspend belief enough that it absolutely
Exactly.
could work. God damn it.
And
she
she's the
keep
only one.
Keeps the Lily doll. She keeps the Lily doll
Which
as
we've
the
already
normal
seen her with.
person. Exactly. And then you fiend her out just like you would do for like the demon Finn Balor's demon. It's not a every time
God
thing.
damn it.
Make it
I
super
hate
special.
that. I like that so much. I hate it.
You
I
can
hate
run that shit. Yo, WrestleMania 41, you run Alexa as the Fiend.
I'm in. I'm in.
Damn it,
Yeah.
Tim.
Especially if it's not going to be Bo. Like I'm glad Bo is not the Fiend.
I agree. I'm glad that
Right.
Bo is a different character. Because I mean he was Uncle Howdy when Bray was still
Mhm.
with us. So
Right.
like I'm glad that they didn't just swerve off of that and try to pretend like he wasn't that. Charlie
Bo
says he
knows.
likes it only if she has a Lily style mask. I mean,
But she would then become Lily.
yeah, she needs to be the Fiend if they would do this. I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, Tim, you won me over.
I like it. I like it. Well done,
The
Tim.
Fiend is a spectral thing. It can be anyone. It's
Yeah.
not like the Undertaker, where that is a person. But like,
Well, there were two
This-
Undertakers.
there was, and then one killed the other one over a box of Domino's pizza. I was there.
That's what happened.
That's awesome.
But getting back to the Rumble, and the show itself, and we're not gonna like go and not there's only 4 matches, but I know Ryan already when he talked about his wrestler of the week, kind of gave his feelings on the show. But what grade do you guys give the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble event?
C-.
Okay.
It was average, but like meh, average.
I'm gonna go with a B-. I think that the 2 out of 3 falls tag was lacking. I think that the Rumbles themselves were maybe a tick above average. Just like a tick. Because there's moments, there's big memorable moments in each. I like the fact that they didn't have to rely too heavily on either one for big surprises. I think there was like a Joe Hendry was a surprise on the Raw side or on the men's side, and he was like the only surprise. And
I
on the
Show
women,
Speed.
and I Show Speed, yeah.
That
So,
was it.
I mean, AJ returning was kind surprising.
but he's on the roster. Like it's
Oh,
not
that's
like
fair.
it's not like a legend. It's
That's
not
fair.
like an outsider. It's somebody that's inside, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And then the ladder match, I think the ladder match is not going to get enough credit. I think the ladder match is extremely fun. It's not the greatest ladder match I've ever seen, but it's also like it was a necessary evil in the story they're telling with Cody Rhodes and like the attrition of being the WWE champion.
Okay. So I'm really at just C. Like the tag team match, it was there to fill time. And that's literally all it was. And it's kind of sad because like when you see Motor City Machine Guns versus Ciampa and Gargano, they've had better matches on SmackDown, for God's sakes. And I don't know if the 2 out of 3 falls format just didn't work for these 2 tag teams. If it's not great for tag teams, period. Tag teams in WWE, period, because like other companies probably do it better when it comes to tag team 2 out of 3 fall. It's just WWE, even still now with Triple H running the show, still has a tag team wrestling problem.
Yep.
So it filled time. The women's rumble for me, I thought it was really good until it just got so predictable at the very end. Like they're just at a point where it's like, oh cool, it's going to be Charlotte and whatever. Charlotte Flair, we only have a limited amount of time before she gets hurt again. So let's get her in the main event at WrestleMania. But like the match itself, I mean, the ring was loaded a lot. There was cool spots. And I think everybody shined pretty good.
I heard actually with Charlotte Flair, they were going to come out with like a special, like a limited edition run DVD, but had to pull it from the shelves. They were going to call it the 3 Faces of Flair, but they realized she's on her 4th.
Oh my god. And then the ladder match, and maybe I need to go back and watch that match again, because to me it felt very just average until about the last, I don't know, 5 minutes where it really started to crescendo towards the end. Now the end, really good, great spots, and then of course the Cody gets the win and he's celebrating over the lifeless body of Kevin Owens. It's like, That's not something a babyface does. Like, so the ending and the post-match stuff, great. Everything else to get to that point, all right, cool. And then the men's rumble, I thought was very paint by numbers, minus Braun Breaker almost killing a guy and Joe Hendry. Until the heavy, that run of like heavy heaters after like 23 or whatever, when it was like Cena, Roman, Seth, just everybody coming out up until the end, when like once Punk and Rollins and Roman got eliminated, I'm like, oh fuck, we're actually just getting John Cena and Charlotte Flair winning the Rumbles.
Yeah. The final six of the final four of the Rumble was CM Punk, Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jey Uso.
Yeah, and so my prediction coming up the whole time was Punk and Cena would be the last two, and we're like, and because we're gonna go on this series of Cena hitting some losses, so it's gonna be Punk and Cena. Cena gets eliminated, Punk goes to WrestleMania. Once Punk got dumped out, and so did Rollins, so did Reigns, I'm like, shit. Like, we're just gonna have the most predictable vanilla Rumble winners. And then they gave us an actual surprise. Like, I am absolutely surprised Jey Uso won. I like it. I know there's people kind of crapping on it. One of your best friend, Tim, really crapped on it. But I like it. And for a company that for a long time doesn't take many, you can call it a risk if you want, I guess. I mean, Jey Uso has been a featured player for the last year. It's kind of a risk, though. For them to take that is actually surprising. I like it. So to me, it's like the end of the men's rumble, the end of the ladder match, and the most of the meat of the women's rumble were the best parts of a 4-hour show. That's average as hell.
I think people are still really underselling Jey Uso. The dude moves merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
He has an incredible call and response with the fucking crowd. That when that camera pans back and like pans around the crowd and everybody's fucking doing the Jey Uso, the yeet thing, and you have the commentators doing, and the whole fucking crowd's doing this. You say, I wonder, that's the yes movement, man, from fucking WrestleMania 30. That's exactly what we're seeing here. The crowd's behind a guy. They have this incredible movement where you say, I want to experience that live. It's not enough to watch this fucking at TV. I need to be there and experience this fucking moment live. Dude, they have a fucking heater. Let's see what he can do. Makes a ton of sense to me. I don't hate it. I thought it was very paint by number. I thought it was a pretty boring fucking show. The tag match was drugged. The like you said, I think the title match, going through the motions to get to the fuck bop spot. Ladder match, bam, there it is. The Rumble matches I thought were just average. I don't know. Maybe it's time to make the Rumble bigger. Is 30 people enough, knowing that the roster size they have, and that limits some surprises that we can get? It's the Rumble. I think people want surprises. People want to hear that theme song that they haven't heard in a while, or they wanted to see, Matt Cardona on a one-off even. Wow, that's a fucking cool moment. That's what I want to see in the Rumble, not Ludwig Borga or whatever the fuck his name is get eliminated in 8 seconds.
No, Charlie, I disagree with the notion it's Kofi Mania, because Kofi Mania was a much different type of groundswell. Like, this is the WWE picking a guy who the crowd's told us for a while. I mean, this goes back to like Backlash France, and look at every pay-per-view for the past year when Jey Uso comes out, and Monday Night Raw, he's getting the special entrance from the crowd, and the drones are flying over, and this and that. Like, this isn't like a last minute, really kind of a groundswell. The Kofi Mania is much different than this. I think the yes movement is something that is better, because and yeah, for everybody that's the Jey Uso's not over. He doesn't get this. Go watch that opening, just the opening of Raw until he starts talking. If you don't want to be a part of that, maybe wrestling's not for, or the WWE is not for you, man, because like watching that, I agree, Ryan. I'm sitting there going, fuck, why are they not coming to Hershey during this,
I remember the Yes
WrestleMania?
movement thinking, I need to be in that crowd. As a wrestling fan, I need to do the Yes chant
same thing
with thousands of other people live. That is what I need to do. I feel the exact same way. Oh, it's so dumb. The Yes movement was so dumb.
Yeah,
The fucking move. It's stupid as hell, but it fucking works. And
bunch
an
of
entire
exciting
crowd
whites
doing
in the
it,
crowd
man. Dude, the exciting whites. Nothing thrills us more than a fucking call-in reaction hand movement.
Woo! Yes, yeet.
Yeet.
Yeah, I think the big difference though is that with Kofi Mania, Kofi had been a singles guy for a long time, and then got with the New Day and got a breath of fresh air, a fresh coat of paint. And when you remember, it was Mustafa Ali who went down. They needed a replacement, and then it was Kofi, and then the groundswell, and then we get Kofi Mania. The Yes movement's also a little different too, because like Jay has been in the public eye and been main event Jey Uso for 4 years now.
That's a good point.
Has he really been monikered that long?
He was monikered that by Roman Reigns during the COVID run.
Wow. I feel like 4 years ago, he was still just going hard in the paint.
No.
They haven't gone hard in the paint for a long time, Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, Matt always brings it up, and that's why that's still fresh in my mind.
Only too, because I bought him that shirt for Christmas.
Because there was the Uso Penitentiary before that.
Right.
And so they've been out of the paint
and
for a long time.
then there was the literal Uso Penitentiary.
Now, Jim.
What happened?
Oh, now.
It's just driving school. But
ain't no need for that.
I think there's a difference. And I can appreciate why people are critical of Jey Uso's Rumble win. Because at some point, the bell has to ring.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay is not Jay is not the type of right now. Jay is not a WrestleMania main event. His entrance is
what, on his in-ring wrestling skills?
Mm-hmm.
That John Cena was never a WrestleMania main event. The guy has fucking 6 moves.
But he understood the stuff between the moves more. And he maximized his 6 moves. And
I understand it was a different time in history, but let's remember Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow was a WrestleMania main event.
Correct. In Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay, John Cena
during the WWE's downest period.
And I love The Miz, but John Cena and The Miz was a WrestleMania main event.
And some would say The Miz was never hotter. Cena was borderline height of powers during that Mania.
I would say Jey Uso today has also been never hotter.
Correct, but
just say you hate Samoans, Tim.
I don't.
Why do you hate Samoans so much? We have a big Samoan fan base.
Jey Uso.
That's at Not the Tool Man across all platforms for your Samoan hate mail.
Jey Uso versus likely Gunther is going to be a better WrestleMania main event than WrestleMania 34, than WrestleMania 33.
WrestleMania main events, Jim.
There's plenty to go around. Like
except we've already seen Jey and Gunther twice already.
WrestleMania 34 was the third WrestleMania main event featuring Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Not the third match between them, the third WrestleMania main event featuring them.
Now, who's Roman Reigns in your example then, Jim? And who's Brock Lesnar? Because those are two out-of-this-world draws.
No, I understand
that. Gunther is just not, no matter what your wife says.
He's not. But we're also in a world where we have two nights of WrestleMania, and I'm not even sure that one of this match closes one of the 2 nights.
I don't think it does either.
I think
But-
it opens a night.
And I'm fine with that.
Then it's not a main event. What are we
It
even
is a
bitching
main
about?
event. Macho Man versus Ric Flair was in the middle of WrestleMania 8, and it was a main event.
Somebody
the
listens
greatest
to Final
match.
Wrestling Plays.
Yeah, I mean, but like the WWE, I mean, SummerSlam 90 had a double main event. Only one match can close the show, but you can have a
Correct.
double main event. But
I don't think you open a show with a main event. Then why sit around and watch the fucking show? Then it's not your main event.
Didn't Brock use his Royal Rumble win to start WrestleMania against Seth Rollins?
35.
yeah,
Right.
Right. I'm just saying that wasn't the main event. That's all
But
I
he
was
was the
saying.
Royal
That's
Rumble
it.
winner.
That's it. That's fine. You go on to WrestleMania to wrestle a match on WrestleMania for a championship. It's just not the main
I mean,
event.
his name is main event Jey Uso. I don't think the billing was a main event match at WrestleMania.
It
Or was it?
on all the infographics during the Rumble, you were winning a chance to fight for the title of your choosing in the main event of WrestleMania.
Well, again,
Right.
Titan verbiage.
And
They've
there's a lot of time between now and April 19 and 20. They could really shake things up with Jay.
Yeah.
There's not even a consideration that it could very well be Jay Cody.
I mean, he said he's going to SmackDown tomorrow.
He'll be at SmackDown tomorrow, and good luck to those who are true degenerates and watch 3 hours of SmackDown.
Woof.
Can't be me.
And here's the thing too, because and I know, and I'm speaking again to Final Wrestling Place. Make sure you go listen to that. But to
Available
Marcus's-
wherever you get your podcast, linktree.com/TM shows.
I know Marcus specifically brought up the WrestleMania match with Jay and Jimmy last year.
Yeah, and I don't find
That match
fair
was a
at
Jimmy
all.
problem, not a Jay problem, because Jay has
Yeah.
had very good matches ever since then. And
Yeah.
before then,
Yeah, Jimmy's
Jimmy's a tag team guy, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just mean that literally. He's a tag team guy.
And what your point right there is Marcus's point, that they're going to play one note with the Jey Uso going to WrestleMania, and he is a tag team guy and he shouldn't be here. And we have played that line for his Intercontinental title run with Braun Breaker, his run against Roman Reigns not once but twice, his run against Gunther.
But for me, I don't think
WWE needs to find a new note.
I don't look at Jay that way. I look at Jimmy that way. But like, if you look at the Hardys,
It's very clear that Jey Uso is the Bret Hart in this conversation and Jimmy is the Anvil.
I mean, let's even talk about the Hardys. Like, Jimmy is Matt Hardy, Jay is Jeff Hardy.
Jimmy wishes he was Matt Hardy.
Well, I know, but but you know what I mean. Like in the
And
Hardys,
to be fair, Jay wishes he was Jeff.
well,
Mark, are you
sure,
drawing?
winning a world title at WrestleMania could be a
Yes.
good opportunity to get to there. Mark, we've been intentionally ignoring you. Unintentionally ignoring you. What grade would you give the Royal Rumble show?
That's all right, Jimmy. I've been busy. I was drawing. Well, what grade? I'd say a C.
I thought there was going to be more to that.
I'm going to give it a C. Just a C, Jimmy.
Let's see.
You know, the women's match was pretty good, the Rumble, but Charlotte was a little predictable. And I do like that Jay won the men's. They're trying something different, okay? Let's put somebody different in there. Let's see what Jay can do.
Pulling a comment from the Twitter. He said B+, maybe an A-. Was happy to see Alexa get the reaction. A little worried about. He said he worries about Jay headlining a little bit. WrestleMania being your first singles main event is kind of like a high school freshman being brought up to varsity. Wonder if he's up to it. We're gonna find
What was
out.
that? What
I
was
hope
that
he's up
Twitter
to
handle? At not big Jim wink wink.
No. I just literally gave the show a C.
Right.
Let's see here. Charlie says, Tim, you say that, but how many of the Austin stops in the corner actually connected? I don't know which point.
Okay. So
Stop in a mud hole.
well, so let's just clear the air right here. Every single one of those effing mud hole stomps connected. It's
That's
just,
true.
is Austin trying to kill a man in the corner, or is he trying to work a man in the corner?
Depends on the man.
Exactly. If it's Vince McMahon, he's putting his foot through his sternum.
Doing the Lord's work.
Right. He didn't do it hard enough.
No, he certainly
wait,
did.
He was
The
trying.
difference though is like Austin did mud, like you're using the mud hole stomping, but Jay's gonna throw like 12 super kicks a match. He's gonna yeet. He's gonna do his stuff, and like I understand there's a comparison that's been floating around. My friend Ed Cody, shout out young Ed, has affectionately dubbed Jay Uso as 2025 Road Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
He's over on the mic. He gets big crowd reactions. He's around in the main event scene. But you never see Road Dogg for the world
Dogg in
title.
the main event scene.
Right. And that's why he's saying that Jay shouldn't be there, because everything around him makes him the Road Dogg.
That is a horseshit comparison.
I think it's more fair than anything. I think if you take away the fact that Jay is going into the main event, that's the one thing that separates the two.
I mean, Jay, again, we're talking about Jay being a single star basically for the last 4 years. And people are still interested. People are still bought in. In fact, they're growing more interested and more bought in. Did I don't remember the Road Dogg having a great 4-year singles run.
He didn't, but I don't think
You're
Jay's
acting
had
like
a
he's
great
fucking
4-year singles run either.
You're acting like he's Bob Roode, coming down to just the theme song, and the theme song was over. That's Bobby Roode. That's not Jay Uso.
If he wasn't yeeting to the music, Bobby, I don't see that there's anything there for Jay. I think Jay is lightning in a bottle. He has found his look. He has found his thing. He has differentiated himself from everyone else in the bloodline. Pulled himself out.
Here's the thing. I don't think Jay. I don't think Jay Uso is a long-term single star, like a long-term main event top guy. He's not The Rock. He's not, he's not Seth Rollins. But like,
who the fuck is?
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of guys who get a flash at the top and then they kind of go away.
I mean, there's plenty of former WWE champions that never were The Rock. I mean, for Christ's sakes, you're comparing. Not every fucking running back is Barry Sanders. Of course they're not. He's Barry fucking Sanders.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
you can run down the list of people
for like 3 years. DeMarco Murray had a hell of a year. That 1 year in Dallas,
Alfred Morris.
I mean, it's nuts to say that these guys are just a flash in the pan when sometimes that's all they need to be.
Mike Allstott was on the cover of Madden.
No,
Fighting Whites.
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis, that's the one. But Mike Allstott had a flash in the pan year. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, cool. He got more money than most fullbacks ever do in their career.
I think you look up a list of former WWE champions. There's probably going to be more flash in the pans than there are bona fide Mount Rushmore stars. I don't think anybody's putting Jay Uso on your Mount Rushmore.
No.
Right.
But Dolph Ziggler had a hell of a WWE career.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and I know we've gone over time here, but I think that
this is for Devin. I hope you're happy.
Correct.
Yeah, thanks, Devin.
Don't say we never did overtime. I think where a lot of people, where this Rumble will be maligned, is in a Rumble that saw Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and I would even put Damian Priest in that conversation. But at least the first 5. In a world in which those people are in the Rumble and your winner is Jey Uso.
Damian Priest won a fucking briefcase to win his championship, my guy.
Correct.
Don't act like
I was
Damian
there.
Priest is not just the flash in the pan. Because if that's what we're doing, he's just a fucking big guy, does the Archer shit, and he's in a faction. He just happens to be the tall faction man.
He has broken past that, and he's entrenched himself in the main event.
Possible sometimes.
I just think that in a world where the WWF is always, and a lot of times rightly so, criticized for not doing anything different, being too predictable, and so on and so on. A time where they actually do something different, actually take a little bit of a risk, actually do something surprising to remind us anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Agreed. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's just it's funny how WWE's too predictable. They're doing it wrong. When they do something surprising, they're doing it wrong. And again, here's the thing. And if the Jey Uso Gunther match is a stinker to open up night 1 of WrestleMania, and Jey loses, and we just have to go, and you go, well, okay, we missed this one. This was a miss of a Rumble win.
I don't even think it's going to be that bad. If you open
no, I think it's going to be fine
with the fucking yeet movement and everything is going to be the moment that you remember and not what actually happens in between the ropes.
Exactly.
Correct. And just so everybody's clear, I'm not against Jey Uso being in this spot. I'm merely just
hate Jey Uso the same way Big Jim hates birds.
That's not true.
Frankly,
yes, that is true.
That is correct.
That is correct.
It is not true on both.
I am literally having the opposite side of the conversation because I find it more fun to have opposing viewpoints and for it to all be a yes circle.
Right. If you go listen to Final Wrestling Place on all your podcast catchers, you will hear Tim on the other side, on the pro Jey Uso side.
I'm taking the pro Jey Uso side to be that fucking other guy.
Yeah, congratulations.
Jey Uso sucks.
I think two, and this is my last thought. I think two truths can be the exact same. Two truths can be apparent here. One, Jey Uso or the WWE is doing something different and it's a heat check. It's a logo 3, seeing if they have something that is main event worthy, or WrestleMania main event worthy and beyond with Jey Uso. 2, Jey winning the Royal Rumble is a very uninteresting Royal Rumble winner, considering you have Roman, you have Punk, you have Drew, you have Seth, you have Jacob Fatu, all in the Rumble.
Man,
I think those can be the same.
I just think you see 65,000 at Lucas Oil and another 20,000 on Monday night going banana, and I don't think there's anything uninteresting
the same night that you have Charlotte Flair win the Rumble. You want to have the same old win the men's Rumble. I don't think you can get away with that if you're the WWE. And here's the deal. It's not like we're fucking saying Otis is going to win the Rumble. And it's the Royal Rumble. It should be anything can happen.
Right.
That it's always down to the same 4 fucking guys is predictable, and that's boring in and of itself. It should be anything. I'm not saying Maxine Dupree should win the fucking Royal Rumble, but she should have every chance to, right? Go in, dump some people out. If you're lucky, you might win the fucking Royal Rumble. That's how the match
happened with Jey.
I don't think that's what happened with Jey. I don't think Jey is the Maxine Dupree in that match.
No, but I'm saying Jey got lucky that the 3 big hitters essentially eliminated themselves.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. Absolutely.
Right.
And then he had to beat your apparent GOAT in John Cena to win this match.
Big Mac says Jey deserves this one Rumble win over Jacob. I agree. Jacob will get there.
I agree. You put Jacob in the list of people that you listed earlier: Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, CM Punk, and you mentioned them all in the same breath. Like they've all done the same thing in the WWE, and Jacob's been there for a cup of coffee.
Jacob will get
Jacob Fatu is a phenom.
He is. I'm not saying he's not.
Jacob Fatu is a better WWE superstar than Jey Uso.
Ooh, maybe we'll unpack that one next week.